Well, there it is. Sometimes it's like the old adage in sport. When you're on a streak, sometimes you start to wobble a little bit before that streak comes to an end. If you're losing, you start to play a little bit better before you get on the winning side. And we talked a little bit about that after the Arizona game. Weren't very good against the Coyotes. Found a way, tied it, get to overtime, get the winner. That's what good things do. Or it's what good teams do. They were good in the first, not so good in the second.
Brutal in the second.
And and it was a complete reversal because the Leafs were no good in the first, and then they were much better. But and you know what? I don't know if that does apply here because the Flames were not outclassed, and I don't know that they deserve to win it necessarily, but they hung in there with one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah, I thought the Flames played the better game, but they don't have the finishers that the Leafs have. And that's why teams that have more skill don't have to have 20 bodies going and, play 60-minute efforts. You see what Matthews does. You make a few defensive mistakes. You don't clear the zone if you're Nick DeSimone. You have an errant pass land on his stick. You don't finish your chances to make it 3-0. You had two glorious ones. What you're seeing here is there's a talent gap. There was not a work ethic gap. There wasn't much of a chances gap. I liked a lot of what the Flames did, but they didn't have a guy who was on pace to score 70 to give him a few tonight. You
wonder if they did, though. I was thinking that as you watch that game, they're hanging in there. They're playing well. They get some bounces. What if they had?
Well, I mean, they're a rule interpretation away from being tied with the momentum and the building rocking. Yeah.
But so how do you get those guys? Well, first overall picks usually is how that goes.
Well, then it's first and third, and then mostly they're just generally top 5 picks, Dean. Yeah.
Amazing, not just that Matthews can do it, but those guys, they're just killers.
Yes.
Right? They are just they're killers. How quickly because it's a harmless little play. That puck almost comes out at the blue line. Gregor keeps it in, and wham! Just like it's like like a snake grabbing a rat or something.
Yeah.
Zing in the net, just like that. Before
killer
you
is
even
the
knew
perfect
what was
word.
going on. It's a killer.
It's a perfect word. And again, he had 2 shots in this game, and they were both goals at one point.
Yeah,
that is a lethal finisher. And you look at the chances the Flames had. There's just not anyone in the same stratosphere. Like Coleman's riding the greatest heater of his life, and he might get to 30. It's if Austin Matthews is closing at 20% of his shots, he's going to hit 70.
Yeah,
it's wild.
That because you start to, you add 3 to those totals now. Okay, now he's on a nice little tear for sure.
He's 6 off the 50 and 50 pace, which I'm begging for. I think that'd be so cool.
It would be cool even to have a legit race for it.
Yeah, just get close. Get one more hat trick. I mean, I feel like it wouldn't be quite to the same level, but you remember when we went to live cut-ins on sports highlight shows for Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire at bats? It just would be oh my God, the Leafs are on a power play, and if he scores tonight, he's at 48 and 48. Quit, change the channel, or I'm buying the national package because I need to see this shit.
And what would be nice about that is finally the Leafs would get some coverage.
Yeah, I was going to say,
able to turn on your TV and actually see something about the Leafs.
If it was Phil Forsberg in Nashville, I would be a little more pumped about it or something like that.
Right.
But yes, yeah.
Not the guy. It was and they needed him. They truly did. He was a superhero that came in with his cape and his, S on his chest, scores 3.
Dirty mustache, did the job.
And to your point, an interpretation. I don't know. We'll take a look. It's our Betway highlight of the night.
Yeah, here we go.
We've got a lot to get to, of course, as we get into it here. Flames lose by a score of 4-3 regulation, so the 4-game win streak is over for the Flames. Obviously, we'll go to the Betway the Betway highlight of the night. Betway bets. Get that Betway app on your phone. Get it on your tablet. Get it on your desktop, and play along. Maybe you had a Nazem Kadri anytime goal. Maybe
you had a Yegor Sharangovich.
Maybe you did.
Anytime goal.
Yeah, maybe you did.
Maybe you got screwed out of a Connors area anytime point, Dean.
Yeah, you might have got screwed out of that. Yeah, maybe, just maybe. Betway, the official gaming partner of Barn Burner and Afterburner. Let's take a look at our Betway highlight of the night. It's like slow motion, right? When you see that puck sitting there, it's like everything just freezes. So is he going to get there? And sure enough, he swoops around and gets to it. But if you watch the game, or if you know how this ends up, that's with 11:21 to go, was not to be, as earlier in that shift in the offensive zone, a puck goes off the glove of Blake Coleman. It's deemed a hand pass and no goal.
Yeah, so, reading the leagues, they have the situation room on the website, and they'll say every time there's something's reviewed, they'll explain, hey, here's what we saw. Here's what they said. He directed the puck in the direction of his teammate. And I don't know where a glance or a carom or a redirection turns into a direct. It didn't look to me like Coleman was trying to get the puck to his teammate so much as block a clearing attempt. But I mean, we're into the real gray area here. And I think it's just frustrating for fans because they're like, what did that have to do with the goal? Like 4 people touched it after that. The goalie it hit. I mean, it has nothing to do with the play, and that's frustrating. And a lot of people immediately said, what about Nashville, November 23rd, when Phil Forsberg grabbed a puck behind the net, closed his hand on it, threw it out front. It hit a flame, that ends possession, but they missed him closing his hand on the puck. So the challenge is that the Flames tried. You can't actually say we missed a stoppage for a penalty, which closing your hand on the puck is. This they deem is a direction of the puck. I mean, it's just really frustrating for fans because one looks like it's clearly not going to stand and the other looks like clearly it should. And I did want to save it. I just couldn't. Like, look at this. They're deeming that as not closing your hand on the puck. And in fact, they actually can't, because if it's a penalty, you can't challenge for that. You can only challenge for a hand pass. And of course, it does touch a flame first, which negates possession. It's just a tough rule book to wrap your head around because you look at the one tonight and you think about how goal starved this league is and how they always talk about creating more offense. And you're like, it glanced off the outside of his glove and you're going to say that that's directing it to a teammate. Okay.
It is surprising that is part of the rule, part of the whole review process. That you go that far back for what could have been a stoppage. I'm with you. If it's a penalty, if you've missed a high stick, or if it's been knocked down with a high, something like that, I don't know. It's not, Flames coverage being upset. They got one to go their way that went off a skate and across, and it should have counted.
Yeah, I wonder that's the way the rule should be played.
Yeah. I wondered too on this one. Okay, so it goes off of his glove.
Yeah.
Did Tavares touch it just briefly?
With a stick,
it's like how, because we never really got a good angle of that one.
We didn't. That's true. And the other thing is, like, so you're telling me if it hits right above the glove on his forearm, everything's good. Sleeve. Everything's good, right? Because it's not a hand pass. Well, I mean, it's just glancing off a player at that point. And really, what it was glancing off a player. Just happened to be his glove. I mean, he throws a limb out. It's a really, 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 really minute gray interpretation, and that sucked for fans in the building, but I give Toronto all the credit. Use your timeout. You're allowed to do that. Take more time to review it. Talk to your guys upstairs. Talk to your eye in the sky and say, you know what? I think we got a shot at this one, and give the Leafs credit. That changes the entire momentum of the game because instead of the roof caving in, the home team is erased a 2-goal deficit. And we know how emotional these games are before you even drop the puck. Never mind the score. It's 2 to 3 minutes. Everything quiets down. They end up getting it right. And now Calgary's still in chase mode. And, they take a penalty after that. It's like that, give the Leafs credit. They rolled the dice and won that one. Because we didn't know. I certainly didn't know that there was going to be any kind of a challenge. Saw the puck go in and then the timeout. And I was thinking, is this how fragile they are? Yeah. Well, even on the broadcast. Yeah. It's like, and Sheldon Keefe's going to settle them down.
I know. It's like, wow, it's a tight team. And to your point, obviously, somebody upstairs had seen that it may have gone off a glove. What was the one? Remember, Backlund was on the far wall, right on the glass, and he kind of reaches up and it glances off of his glove. And then I think went to the point, and that was also, so that's like it's so ticky-tack. I don't really know.
It really is, especially for a league where every time they make rule changes, it's always to add offense. It's like, why don't you just clean up your rule book?
Yeah.
Like, you're asking refs to interpret things all game, all night. It's not like it's too hard to ask the refs if they thought Blake Coleman, with the ability to review, if he tried to pass that, because he clearly is just trying to get in front of a puck leaving the zone.
Yeah. I mean, there was no way that he was trying to do that. And you know what? While you're at it, take the distinct kicking motion off a skate. If it's off your skate, it's good. Just you're able to play shit with your skate.
Yeah, or just make it cleaner. Like, you don't want people swinging their skates around a goalie's neck. So is your skate on the ice? It's a good goal. Like, give us something that's clean with no tough interpretation.
Sounds like we're complaining about the refereeing, and we're not.
Yeah, we're complaining about the rule book probably as more than anything.
Refs did what they were. Either way. It was an exciting game in that you had some imperfect hockey. I was thinking early when we were on the other show today talking about the Leafs, and both teams had 21 wins, and why are Leaf fans so upset? What are they getting all worked up about? And then you watch them turn over the puck and Brody piss it away. So this might be why. This might be part of the frustration that's setting in watching this team that has lost 4 straight. They've been blowing leads, and they are pretty loose back there. They're relying on their goaltender a fair bit.
I think about when it's 2-0 Flames and Lindholm gets spotted wide open at the right circle, like wide open. That was after the Zary deflection, I believe. No, that's actually not true. It was 1-0. Lindholm was the wide open. That could have made it 2-0. They do make 2-0, but that was a perfect example of like there's a player just not playing what he's supposed to do. There's no way that guy's left open. Like, forward went to the wrong spot. Riley comes over. Someone's got to cover. How do you leave a guy wide open basically at the hash mark? Like, this is a very loose defensive club. They need D, and Marty Jones is available on waivers for anyone in the league.
Yeah.
He's being the best Marty Jones he can be.
I was just going to say,
if you want to see why the Leafs fans are frustrated, it's like they've got a replacement level netminder and a below average blue line, and that was all on display tonight.
Not a lot wrong with that offense.
No, God.
When it was 4-on-4 and then Hanifin took that penalty, you could feel the chill go up your spine. It's like, that's going to be 4-on-3 now, right? Yeah. And then Rick Ball, 4 forwards coming out. Oh boy, how long is this fun? How long is this 4-on-3? Ooh, feels like a long one, even though it was 45 seconds or 30 seconds. Oh shit, yeah.
I kept looking. I got Riley in fantasy. I'm like, where's? Oh shit, yeah, it's 4, and they're all 4 forwards.
4 forwards. Yeah. You know what else I was thinking, and it's too early in the hockey game, but you think about sequences and stages of the game where things could change. They make it 2-0, and then Backlund is sprung on that breakaway and puts it off the post.
Zary tip in front too. Like, both of those are right after. If
that goes 3-0, does that change anything? Because it stays 2-0, and then Matthews scores to give them a little bit of a boost going into the intermission. And then one other thing we need to talk about: they make it 2-0. Backlund post, Matthews scores, and then Pospisil crashes into the end board.
Yes.
So it was a lot of the good vibes were sucked out of the game there. That did not look good, man. We saw it was kind of the same thing with Dennis Gilbert when he was being helped off the ice. He was woozy. He was in not good shape, and it was much the same with Pospisil. He needed some serious help getting off the ice.
He's going in at full speed, and they just lose the camera angle as he's about to hit the wall, but he's turning, and you're like, he's going to go full impact, like head, neck, or spine first into the wall. Watch him right here, and you're like, that's a high speed into a stationary object, and it's a player that's got a horrible history of head injuries, so you hope for the best, but that's a guy you definitely could have used. You're down to 11 forwards. They're spotting Ruzicka and occasionally Dubé up on that line, and that line's been so excellent. You're more just thinking about Marty Pospisil and what a season he's had, and really the coming out party that this, I guess, 30 games has been for him. And this is also part of the back of his hockey card, is that he misses a lot of time.
There was somebody on social media had a kind of a shot looking down. Okay. And I'm not sure if it was from the CSN broadcast or how they had it, but it basically showed Pospisil he's fallen onto his butt and is going backwards into the boards, and then he's going with such force and such velocity, his legs kind of come up, almost like a lawn chair, just kind of fold them right up.
Yeah.
So it's been concussions that have dogged him. You hope that's not what it is. You don't want him to be hurt at all, but
correct.
It would suck for sure. Well, I've checked in. I don't know. It's going to be one of those things where they'll have more to say tomorrow. But you have to wonder about his availability for 2 nights from now and who comes in if that's going to be the case.
May I direct traffic for a moment?
Sure.
DoorDash.
Okay, there we go.
It's a weird way to get there, but trust me, it's going to make sense at the end.
A little DoorDash. It means you're hungry for something. It means you're hungry for more. Maybe he's restaurants, grocery, pharmacies, bakeries, whatever it is convenient, it's easy, and it's the only way to do it. You walk out to your front door. I can't believe it's here already. That's how it works. You get the app on your phone, and for a limited time, you'll get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you get that DoorDash app and use the promo code NATION25, NATION25, to get the 25% off on that first order. So tell me, Ryan, what are you hungry for more of?
Normally we talk about something that's happened in the game, and a player that either, man, he's going good, or like, gosh, I'd like to see more of the good version of that player going off the board tonight. So I think Marty Pospisil, if we have to handicap it, and we're not doctors, probably going to miss a lot of time.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, we got about 7 to 10 years of school left.
We're working on it, though. Chipping away.
I looked at it. It's expensive school team.
Chipping away at it, yeah.
What does a cadaver cost? This is incredible, these prices.
Because now Klapka came up, right? Klapka was
right.
recalled from the Wranglers. He did not play tonight.
And why Klapka was called up, it's like, okay, well, Walker Duehr went down. So where was the job opening on the roster? Bring a fourth line guy. Now, if Marty Pospisil's out a bit, what position does he play and where is he?
He's a winger on, let's call it the second line.
Sure. So it's a top 9 role on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, down on the farm, the last 2 months-ish, maybe more, Matthew Coronato has been absolutely torching the second best league in the world as a right shot, right winger, waiting for an opportunity in the top 9. I don't want Marty Pospisil to be gone for long, but if he misses any significant time, I am hungry for some Matthew Coronato, who rifled a goal in Pittsburgh, game 2 or 3 of the season, right up under the bar on the power play, and is a right shot finisher, of which the Flames have had very few since Jarome Iginla.
Yeah. We would take questions here at the end of this show, and that was always, what's it going to take? When's Coronato coming up? What's it going to take? And with waiver exemption now gone for Pospisil, it's probably going to be an injury. They're not going to send Pospisil down because he's playing well enough and because it's a waiver situation. It just felt like it was going to have to be something like that. You didn't know about Dubé or whatever, but probably
Dubé's fourth line anyway, right?
Yeah, it's again unfortunate, and you hate that this is the way it comes about, if in fact it does. But it does make a lot of sense. The fit it's perfect for him.
And you're right. Like almost every game, when's Coronato coming? When's Coronato coming? Well, look, if you want to give Coronato 8 minutes ice time, you can call him up and put him on the fourth line with AJ Greer and Adam Ruzicka. Like, is that really what he is best served for a man playing his first season of professional hockey?
Yeah.
No. Like, it's you're better off playing in every situation, big minutes in the A. Now, what's different, and now why I think it will make sense and it will happen if Pospisil's out, is that this is a top 9 role. These are the types of players he should be playing with. It's the type of role he's played his whole career. It's putting a guy in a spot to succeed in the sense that he'll be surrounded by other top 9 players, not fourth line fringe NHLers.
Yeah. It makes too much sense that you just put it all together. I don't think you need to be a doctor for that. It sucks.
It's a lot of work, Dean.
Because you know what? But here's the thing. With Pospisil, it's not just that he was playing well. He was giving the Flame. He was filling a role that they don't have. That's the one thing about Coronato. He'll come up. He'll have more offense potentially, but he's not going to bring what Pospisil brings. And you'd love to have that against the Oilers, right?
Yes, and so maybe you reimagine that fourth line. Maybe it's Greer and Klapka with Ruzicka in the middle. That's a big physical fourth line, and now you have like a right-handed version of Sharon Govich, loosely speaking, and Coronato coming in. I mean, I think it's a different looking lineup. You alter your top 9 for the first time in ages. Really, we've seen one swap in the last, 2 months? You basically saw Mangiapane for Huberdeau.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the top 9's been the top 9. Like, Huberdeau missed a game because of the flu and Dubé went up. But generally speaking, the top 9 has been the top 9 since mid-November.
And they deserve to be, right?
Yes. And that's why Coronato hasn't been up. It's like, who are you going to pull out of the top 9? You're no one. You can't.
And remember, it was Retro that actually said it at the start when Coronato got sent down, and you look back on it was a horrible atmosphere then. Yes. They were on that skid, and he wasn't playing particularly well, but nobody was. And
down to the fourth line, like
it was doom and gloom. Get him out of here. He's nearby if you need him. So yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'd be shocked if there isn't a call to the Wranglers tomorrow, and Matthew Coronato will see him again and against the Oilers. They're going to be wearing their outdoor jerseys. the Heritage Classic jerseys.
Indoors?
The Oilers. Indoors. Yeah.
So they don't have to prepare mentally or physically the 20 seconds. Okay.
No, we play inside.
It's a dome.
It's a dome.
It's 20 seconds from the bus.
So Pinder is hungry for Matthew Coronato. I have a feeling you're going to have your appetite satiated.
I'll be sated or satiated.
Yeah,
yes.
Something like that.
You could use both of them. I've looked
DoorDash, a little hungry for more. Get the DoorDash app. 25% off with the promo code Nation25 on your first order of $15 or more. Dash that for the win with DoorDash. There you go. Still to come. We'll take a look at the road ahead. It's a 6-game homestand and then the All-Star break. So it's a lot of home cooking here for the next little bit. That and a little bit more. Other things, we did not talk about the goaltender tonight. We talked about Marty Jones before we got to Dan Vladar. We'll do that next. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
BK Beaufort Liquor is a proud sponsor of Afterburner. In fact, our very first sponsor ever, right back to our first Afterburner ever. Big thank you to Mandeep, Manjeet, and Jazz. Huge Flames fans, a heck of a family. Good-looking cashier, Mandeep, as well. Find them right across from Winsport on the Trans-Canada Highway. Whether you're grabbing some beer for your place in town or you're heading to the mountains, make sure you stop in, say hello. Whether it's a specialty wine, liquor, 6-pack of beer, whatever it is, check it out and grab it at BK Beaufort Liquor. We've been telling you about our daily survivor pool at dailyfaceoff.com for Wendy's. Now, you know SOG, GAA, and PPG can make or break your week, but don't overlook the BPMM. The Wendy's Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt. Aha, the BPMM. Sure, it may not help you win your weekly fantasy prizes at dailyfaceoff.com, but unlike your predictions, it never, ever disappoints. Oh, BPMM. So try your luck, but don't push it because the Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt is only back for a limited time. And if you miss it, you're not getting a second chance. So sign up for Daily Face-Off today. It's the Survivor Pool sponsored by Wendy's and the Wendy's app. Love that. BPMM. There's not much better than hockey season. And yeah, you can always cheer on your favorite team at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino's Stage Bar. You can enjoy the games on the massive big screen TVs they've got hanging above the bar. Friends, drinks, delicious food. Let's go. Visit Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.ca for more information. Now, maybe it's not game time yet, but there's always happy hour in the afternoon. Make the most of your day with great drinks and food at the Stage Bar and Blaze Bar and Grill for the happy hour every day, 2 to 5 at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Great food, specialty drinks, all starting at $5. Visit Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.ca for more information. We'll see you there.
There you go. We'll see you there next week.
We'll be there on Tuesday, Dino.
That's right.
At the St. Louis Blues.
Oh, is it the St. Louis Blues?
St. Louis Blues.
The only thing I remember about...
Sorry,
I was going to say that what I remember about the St. Louis Blues is that was one of the worst nights of hockey I had seen earlier this year, where Huberdeau got sat down in the third and then came back for the power play and wasn't very good even then, and they couldn't connect on passes. And then afterwards, it was as animated and as angry as we've seen Ryan Huska. You can control your work ethic. You can control how hard you work. And it turned around not long thereafter, so... Hopefully they don't.
That was, I believe they played, was it the Rangers really tough when they got back? And you're like, wow, that's a good effort. You just lost to a better team. And then it's like, oh, okay, here come the Blues. And it's like, oh, that's not a good effort.
That's not very good at all.
Yeah, that's, what are these?
Yeah, that's indigestion, heartburn. I'm a little...
nausea, diarrhea, all the above. Yeah, that's what that one was.
Pepto. It's a Pepto thing. Dan Vladar... in the Calgary net. He does take the loss. He allows 4 on 33, but it was, you wish because at the time, if he could have just grabbed that puck before the Matthews hat trick goal, because he's got his glove there and it hits him in the glove and then drops down and then Matthews scores. You wonder, does Markstrom make that save? But then as the game went on, the third period with the breakaway save on Marner and then Domi and then the 2-on-1 Nylander to Brody backdoor and then Nylander to Matthews backdoor. He kind of made up for it. I don't know what Sensationals may be overselling it, but I think
Yeah.
this is another solid performance for him to feel good about.
Yeah, some Oilers fans were chirping about the night because they're 4-1, and I'm like, you can't be watching. Like,
Yeah.
The first one is, okay, it's Matthews from the slot. Tip your cap to the greatest goal scorer in the game today, period, stop. Like, there's no one better than him right now. And probably for the last 5 years, I don't think anyone would be close to him in goals. Second one's what? The backdoor pass from to Marner. Like,
and he was close to getting it. Right.
And it's like, I'm sorry, like none of these, and the frustrating part of the Flames is that all of these came off like self-inflicted wounds. DeSimone doesn't get it out. You have an ozone penalty nearly 200 feet from your own net and Hannafin that sets them up on the power play. Like, it was all these little mistakes they made that led to these goals, not Dan Vladar letting a softie. And now you make a point about the Matthews hat trick. Was it Nyes that shot the puck? Could you just hold on to it maybe? But
yeah,
generally speaking, like, when he's playing well, this is what he does. He makes some stops he has no business making, or at least in spots where you're like, geez, one of those is going to go in. And he shows a lot of tools. Like, he's really large and athletic and can make great saves. But then again, they're usually one a night. Right?
Yeah, I mean, here's a look at some of his work when
that was a
Marner going in.
That keeps it a 1-goal game.
Yeah. So no, and I've said this before about him. I just feel like he's a battler.
Yes.
Even when things may not
well said
be going his way, and here's the Domi one. There's no hanging his head. There's no kind of you don't see him deflate. He digs in and he battles hard. So I do like that about him. And he gave them a chance again in the third period. It could have got kind of silly and out of hand there as they were trying to push for a tying goal and giving up chances in their own end. So what do they do now on Saturday? Is Markstrom ready to come back? Is it Vladar again? Do you think about putting Wolf in there? I don't know.
There's scar tissue for all these guys. Like, it's either the Oilers broke Markstrom. You can't throw the rookie against this guy. Maybe there's a little less with Vladar, but I feel like if any guy does deserve a night off, it is Vladar after what he's done this week. And knowing a little bit just from watching him and chatting with people around him, like, Dustin Wolf could get shelled by the Oilers. That's not going to break him. No, I think he would relish the opportunity. Like, he's got that swagger. Like, he wore the gold medal back from Edmonton to Calgary in the car with Jason LaBarbera, his goalie coach from Canada. Like, the guy's got some swagger. If you ask Dustin Wolf what he wants Saturday night. It doesn't mean it's going to go well. But it's like, we're talking about one of his first 6 games in the NHL. It's not as if it goes poorly that something's written in ink that can't be taken back. Like, it's game 6 of his career.
Yeah. I guess my argument with that would be he'll have lots of time in his career to play the Oilers. You don't need a January game right now.
It's not a heater. Yeah.
You don't need 2 points. And for Vladar, and I don't suggest that he is, you're not complaining about being overworked. You've watched Markstrom play a bunch of hockey. You just keep playing. And I'm sure he'd be ready to go Saturday. But
I can give you a case why all 3 goalies shouldn't play. Don't hurt Vladar's trade stock.
All right.
Don't do it to the young kid, and don't let the Oilers get between Markstrom's head after the way that series ended 2 years ago. So it's like, there's no option here. Does Dusty Nickel want to suit up?
Where's
what
Dusty?
Are we doing?
Yeah. Where's Dusty?
Is he getting his skates sharpened in Marta Loop? Can we bring him in and ask him if he's ready?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's take a look at the road ahead. It's a presentation of Village Honda. You know that's they're our dealership for life. For life. Not for now. Your dealership for now. No. For life. It's because when you go, they take good care of you. Is it pre-owned? Is it new? Do you need service? You want to get your car detailed? Do you want to get anything done to it? It's the best. It's the best thing going today. Woo! I threw that last part in. Northwest Automall online at villagehonda.com as we take a look at the road ahead. Kind of a spoiler. We've told you what's happening, but let's take a closer look at the road
Oilers
ahead.
on Saturday, Hockey Night in Canada, 8 p.m. start. Second round of the Battle of Alberta. The first, of course, was outdoors at Commonwealth. Boy, that was a show. Starting with the costumes, Dean. It really didn't go well.
No.
Then it's St. Louis on Tuesday. RJ like that one. Got a little chuckle off. You like the off
really?
night? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. St. Louis on Tuesday. I'd forgotten how poorly it went. That's a good reminder of where game 1 of the season series was. Wolf at home for the Flames. Columbus and Johnny Hockey's coming back to Calgary on Thursday. Dean?
Come on home, Johnny. Johnny, there's a lot of things that have happened. People have said a lot of things. You know what? Both sides have some hurt feelings.
It's not your fault.
Both sides have and probably good reason to feel a little bit, be upset and a little bit hurt.
It's not your fault.
There's nothing that we can't get past.
It's not
Come on
your
home.
fault.
Come on back.
Come on home, Johnny.
We'll put that 13 up in the banner in a few years.
Johnny, you know
Spin
Huska.
around.
He's not a Richard like your coach now.
Yeah.
That guy's a dick.
You know, Alberta
Come on
beef,
home.
right? You can't be eating that
Yeah.
Ohio beef. That's
Oh,
gross.
please. No.
You know, maybe I'll try and get some time with him when he's here.
Give him a hug. I know how much you like hugs.
I love hugs.
And then they close the homestand, Dean, with a team they love to play. No, wait, hang on. It's a team that loves to play them. It's the Chicago Blackhawks who've beaten the Flames 4 times in a row, despite being the worst team in the league over those last 2 seasons.
4 in a row, hey? I know it was
a lot, yeah. Some
because
overtime.
I remember the last one, and then I remember the last one of last year.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah.
I remember
Not again.
One of our first afterburners ever. It was Rhett and I a week or so in, and it was like, boy, that's you choked up a lead late in St. Louis. That's a tough way to lose. And then, wow, it is Chicago coming up, and maybe they just put one of these young kids in to give him a little jump. I've heard this young Jacob Pelche who's been with the team for a while, and maybe he nope, flat effort, loss. What are you doing? It was ugly against Chicago last year.
Yeah. So there it is.
And real quick, that's it until the All-Star break, then the CBA mandated break. 10 days from Chicago, the last of the homestand, until they get started again in Boston on Feb 6th. 10 days.
10 days. What are we going to do for 10 days?
All inclusive.
Yeah?
RJ's doing the show. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
I'll write that down.
It's a 4-star. I don't know how the food is, but we got a hot deal, buddy.
We'll make it. We'll make it work. Some street meat. We'll find something to make it work.
I got that banana hammock, the leopard print you wanted.
With the mullet, what a show it'll be. Edmonton, St. Louis, Columbus, and Chicago. The last 4 on the current 6-game homestand, and then heading off into the All-Star break. That is the road ahead, a presentation of Village Honda. They're worth the trip. Village Honda, located in the Northwest Auto Mall. If they don't have what you see, you swing through the lot, you talk to some of the staff, they're going to find whatever it is that you're looking for. They are part of the Wood Automotive Group. They'll be, okay, well, let's take a look at the other dealerships. Let's go here. Let's go there. There's more than 400 vehicles that could be right there for the taking.
Checking a box for you, Dean.
Mm-hmm. Village Honda, your dealership for life. Northwest Auto Mall. Online, villagehonda.com. Villagehonda.com. Couple other things to get to before we get into your questions. If you have a little something you want to ask the fellows, you can do so on the old, I guess on the YouTube. I'm still on, I think if you're on the YouTube, you can, because I see YouTubes,
yeah,
and I see a lot of, I see some Facebooks.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you're TikTok.
How is Facebook? I left many years ago. Is it still cool?
I'm the same way.
Yeah. Are we hanging there? It's good times, good vibes. Or is it just everyone's aunt? Like, what are we doing on Facebook?
It does feel like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of ants.
It'll be one of those things. Well, did you not see the message from your mother-in-law? Well, no, what was it?
What message is this?
It's on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook since the 90s, it feels like.
Yeah.
No, I did not see any message. And sure enough, there's like 100 messages in there. No, I haven't seen any.
Dean, I worked with you at Brandon 9 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
This message is 10 years old.
Yeah. So we'll get into some questions and a couple other things, and of course, we're prepping for a road trip tomorrow. Yeah.
Remind me to get a bucket for RJ. Because
to puke in, like in Phoenix, or
no, like a helmet. He forgot his helmet.
Oh, I see.
And the Wolverine still was not right with a bucket taking a fall. We need a helmet for the young man. There could be some cracks on the pond ice. I know they do a good job flooding it, but
on Lake Mildred.
Yeah. As the games go on, you get some heavy wear and tear.
Yeah.
Mildred's going to be nice. I can't wait.
We'll get into all of it in about 2 minutes. Stay there.
Are you thinking of buying or selling your home in the Calgary area? Well, there's one guy you've got to talk to. That's my pal, Derek Newman. Derek, born and raised in Calgary, volunteer, a pillar of the community, huge sports fan, girls, golfs, all kinds of sports. Not to mention, yes, he loves indeed the Calgary Flames. So if you want to talk real estate in your community, or you just want to chat about the Flames and what's going on in the sports world, you can give Derek a call. Incredibly friendly and approachable, but more importantly, trustworthy and incredibly hardworking. Take advantage of their complimentary in-house home staging consultation. Also, whether it's your first time or you're a seasoned buyer or seller of homes, he's going to understand what you're looking for and help you meet your goals. Also, Derek's network, substantial. He's able to find some homes that aren't even on the market yet. So whether you're buying or selling, or you just want to see what's going on with the value of your place, give him a call or a text. He's going to get back to you right away. Derek Newman of Newman Deans Real Estate with CIR Realty. Let Derek put his network to work for you. Call or text Derek right now at 403-619-6661 or email him at dnewman@cirrealty.ca.
Greta, it's our home away from home for Afterburner. We'll be there for live watch parties throughout the season. Should be your spot regardless. Before, during, and after the game, grab a cocktail, something from the menu, let the games begin, or maybe you get into the game yourself. Over 50 arcade games from vintage to state-of-the-art. Load up some credits on that Greta game card of yours and get at it. Greta Calgary, located at 213 10th Avenue Southwest. Check them out online, gretabar.com. We are well into the winter months now, and you can feel it, can't you? That urge to get away. Maybe some beach time to warm up those bones of yours. Maybe a hockey, sports kind of road trip. Well, when you pack your bags, make sure you don't forget Alberta Blue Cross. There's only one thing better than sharing memories, and that's making new ones. Alberta Blue Cross Travel Insurance protects your memories and more, wherever travel takes you. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information. Alberta Blue Cross, celebrating life's memorable moments inspired by hockey. Yes, we'll be now I don't know, do we have some Alberta Blue Cross? Does that qualify our trip to Jasper? Do we need travel insurance for
I think
for
if you're
that?
traveling with me, it's generally,
Yeah.
your legal advisor, Peter Klein, would suggest that you do
Right.
indeed get the travel insurance.
He very much is my legal advisor. It's good to have those kind of guys.
What is it? In Fear and Loathing, the movie with Benicio del Toro? As your legal counsel, I advise you. Better advice than that, but nice to have a lawyer around.
We are, we're headed tomorrow up to Jasper for the Pond Hockey Tournament. It is, we're very happy to have on board Booster Juice taking care of us on this trip. Download the new Booster Rewards app today. Start earning berry points for delicious and nutritious smoothies, drinks, and food that'll get you through the day. And it sounds like by now the roster's got to be pretty much set.
We're 5. Could use a 16.
You could. You sure could. First game tomorrow on Lake Mildred against Leafs Nation.
Big save, Nick.
Do we know who? So it's Nick Alberga. I assume it's Jay Rosehill.
Rosie will be there. I think it's actually a DFO team as well. So we'll have Frank the Tank out there as well, I think.
Frank Seravalli, nice.
I'm guessing on that. That's not confirmed. And then
Yeah.
I don't know where your Remchuk goes, because he's an Oilers Nation Hawk, but he also does a lot of DFO stuff. And there's so many Oilers guys. They must be doing a great job up there. There's 1,000 employees up there.
Yeah. They must be doing so good. Yeah,
they must be doing wonderful work. They just keep hiring more people.
Yeah, they must be doing so many shows, so many podcasts.
I know.
Doing just incredibly well.
Oilers suck.
There you go. Wow.
There you go. Get some Booster Juice in your life. Get the it's all about the apps now, right? It's all about apps.
Now, if I may,
Uh-huh.
during that commercial break, we had a little Greta read. We're doing some live watch parties.
Yeah.
We have a date or two. I think. Are you ready to announce the date of our next live watch party? Because it is coming up in just over a month.
It's so far away, it feels like. But
for you, yes. But for our loyal listeners, they need to get planning.
March? Is that March we're talking?
Oh, there's a Feb one too.
Is there a Feb one?
It'll be a rematch of Saturday's game in Edmonton, though. So it'll be Battle of Alberta, Feb 24th, Saturday Hockey night in Canada, Saturday night, hockey night, 8 o'clock start.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the road. Come to Greta, watch with us. And we'll ask the question again. Where do you find these snipers that can just get 3 goals on 5 shots? Where did you get you drafted them in the top 5?
Number 1 these guys even. That are the best in the world at what they do. How do you get those?
So we'll be doing that. Feb 24, join us at Greta Bar. And here's the thing. It can't go poorly, because if the game sucks, just go to the other 6 rooms and hammer out some old school video games.
That's right. Now, I was thinking about Greta actually tonight, because when it went to overtime 2 nights ago,
that's right.
Greta has the overtime deal that if Flames win in overtime, Greta's giving you something. It kind of rotates, but it was a whole whack of gaming credits.
$100.
Are they going to go to overtime again, potentially? Give
away
away another raft of $100 credits, but not the case. And by the way, if you do have your proof of admission from the game against whoever they played the other night, Arizona.
That's the one.
I believe you have 7 days to get in there and say, hey, I was there. And they'll give you one
next Tuesday.
There you go. See you next Tuesday. One other, I guess, just other things from the game tonight. I had the number this morning. Now this will have changed. The Flames power play. Now they do score a power play goal tonight. So that's 4 straight games.
What a beauty from Nelson Country.
With a power play goal. Just the way he drew it up. But it's again, and we talked about it with Retro on the other show. If you had a power play, and look, like they get a power play goal, they've got power plays force, but it's just they're still near the bottom of the league. I think it's 10% on home ice in that 10 point something. It's 32nd overall. They have the worst home power play in the league. And you just think with 8:43 to go, 1 goal game, Liljegren closes his hand on the puck. You go to the power play, and there was just nothing there. I mean, they do a nice job of moving it around on the top from defenseman to the guy on the half wall and back and across, but it's just never really threatening, which is unfortunate because that's when you need it.
And to be fair, you switch personnel, I think you could probably have a real good power play. I mean, you look at the way that Matthews, Nylander, Marner can zip it around. Even Morgan Riley at the point, like he's not a perfect defenseman, but he's a better power play quarterback than anyone Calgary has. It's just it's a talent exhibition. It's a skill, it's where you showcase the superlative skill you have. And this team looks like a bunch of 20-goal guys and nobody that could threaten 30. Well, okay, maybe Coleman will and maybe Sharon Govich gets there, but the Leafs have multiple players that have flirted with 50 goals in a season.
And it's not even necessarily comparing the 2 teams tonight. It was just for the Flames when you're
stark in contrast is my only point.
We talked about it today because in terms of goals for, you looked at it, they're middle of the pack, 15, 16, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So why would their power play be near the bottom? It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
I definitely would understand the Flames being good at 5-on-5 scoring because it's not a skill competition as much.
I don't know. I'm not buying. I'm having a hard time buying what you're selling.
Do you still do that? Yeah, I mean, if you're telling me that they've got the personnel to have an elite power play unit, I'm not buying that.
Give me middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Give me not 32nd on home ice.
That I agree with entirely. It should be middle of the pack.
If you're somewhat resembling what you are 5-on-5 or whatever.
Fair.
But it does not. Well, we'll see. 4 straight games. Maybe they're creeping out.
Hey, 1 for 3 at home, 33% at home, like 3 times better than it normally was.
You mentioned Nazem Kadri. He continues to put up points. It's an 8-game point streak for him. 6 goals, 5 assists for 11 points in the 8 games. And Sharon Govich again. That's a hell of a tip by Sharon Govich. That's a hell of a redirect. 7 in his last 5. And I mentioned this one on the other. Since December 9th, only Austin Matthews and Sam Reinhart have scored more goals than Igor Sharangovich.
He did not make up any ground on Austin Matthews tonight.
Oh, I lost ground. Yeah, lost ground. So, but either way, you're talking about a guy who is feeling it. There is some chemistry, and Huberdeau, to me, again, looked real. You mentioned that chance that Lindholm had in the first period.
Yeah,
off a great feed from Huberdeau.
Passing's back.
2 assists in the first period, and he was noticeable again. It's It's crazy that now is
Good
he
run.
at world class level? No, but
No.
he's shown more in the last because he's now got in his last 9 games, he's got 10 points. In this
Mhm.
9-game stretch, we've seen more than we have in a year and a half. So
Yep. And if he can be a functional second liner, that feels so much better than what we felt like he was just not destined to be, but like it just there was no light at the end of the tunnel. Now at least it's like, if he can pull the rope and be a contributor, we can live with this.
so much of it is confidence, and I guess when it's gone, it's just gone. So maybe this is something he can kind of build on.
There's still the turnover. You don't love his shot, but it's
I know.
like at least it's not just all turnovers and none of the good stuff. His calling card's always been his passing.
Yeah.
When he was hitting guys in the skates and missing people wide open, you're like, how? This at least is considerably better than that.
I mean,
We're
good
right
job,
there.
Jonathan. We spent enough of these just crushing the guy. Hey, well done. Keep it up. Alan Walsh will be happy as we give.
He's really shut up about his boy. He hasn't said a damn word since.
Well, yeah, you know what? He did get some love tonight. 2 first-period assists for Jonathan Huberdeau.
Oh, did he?
I saw the Alan Walsh tweet. Yeah, throwing it out there. We'll do some questions, some burning questions here to wrap up the show. If you've got one, fire it into the chat. We will get to it. RJ has been throwing them into the old Saberoonie here. Who's in the pipes against the Oilers? We kind of talked about this already.
It's a lose, lose, lose.
Well,
I just mean there's no like, go to that guy. He worried about that. I'm also worried about this. I'm worried about that.
I'm curious if Markstrom's back. Because I think if he is, you put him in, right? He's your number one.
It seems very minor
at an elite level. So
yeah,
you put him in there, and if not, I'd probably still go to Vladar. That's what
part of me wants to see Wolf thrown to the Wolves in a weird way, not because I think he would struggle, but because I think he would absolutely relish the opportunity. But it is a ballsier move.
Yeah.
And again, if Markstrom's healthy, that's moot. He's down. Markstrom's activated. Vladar's the backup. Like it's not even an option if Markstrom's going to be activated.
Let's see what this one is here from Duge. Is tonight a clear sign we trade UFAs for picks to gain that game-breaking talent? Losing Lindholm or Tanev won't break this hardworking group. I don't think that's a tonight thing.
If you have more of these, sure. But again, even if you lose to the Oilers on Saturday and you lost to Toronto tonight, you still might have a 4-2 homestand. Like that's, again, 666 hockey. Like you have to your point, you can't overreact to one game. But again, the flip side of that would be all summer. You sort of said, do you really want to like bust your ass to get into 8th just to be overmatched in the playoffs? I get that weird things happen, but it's just when you looked at what happened tonight, there's only teams that have game breakers and you have to blue collar your way through everyone if you get to the playoffs, right?
Yeah. And I guess because I'll throw this one back up there because he says, is it a clear sign we trade UFA for game-breaking talent? Is that because they lost to Toronto, or is that because you saw Austin Matthews score 3? Because if it's the latter, you didn't need Matthews tonight to score 3 to know how good he is and how far away you are from. Take a look at Nathan McKinnon tonight. Take a look at Connor McDavid. Take a look at Draisaitl.
4 points tonight. Yeah.
So
if that's the point, Dean, it's like, okay, you got to collect as many of these lottery tickets as you can. And if you sell UFAs at the deadline, you're picking higher. Maybe the lottery gods somehow get the map of Alberta confused and you win with the lottery balls and pick first. Like you never know how these things go.
Yeah.
Top 9, all of a swing at first overall.
I think what you can do is, okay, so you've played the Leafs tonight. If you consider them to be one of the top teams, all right, now let's see what Edmonton does. You beat Vegas, albeit shorthanded. March 8th is still kind of a long ways away. You will play some very high caliber teams, some playoff bound teams in that time. It's certainly, I thought it'd be definitive. I thought it'd be clear cut. We talked about it today on the other show. I just thought it would be clear by now. It's not, but I still, even if they're in this kind of a spot, I'm in the sell mode for sure.
Yeah.
I'm encouraging Craig to sell it at all costs.
So you're telling his wife to tell him to sell, and then she tells him.
That's right. I'm telling Craig's wife, just tell Craig we support Craig. We know what he wants to do.
Okay.
We know where his heart's at. Tell him to remain strong. but we've got his back.
Gentle Maniac, quite a handle,
Quite a
asking
handle.
if, not of, Hannafin and Tanev get traded, aside from Shillington, who would replace them? And this sort of, herein lies the conundrum that Connie's in. It's going to be very hard to sell 2 UFA defensemen and have a blue line that looks like an NHL blue line outside of the 25 minutes you'll be getting from Rasmus Anderson and Mackenzie Weegar.
I'm going to, because I'm having, it's not even a brain fart. I just forget who it is, but I will call it up here while we're discussing it. My answer would be that if you trade someone, you're not just getting picks back. If you recall, when the Calgary Flames were kind of in sell mode and they traded Chris Russell,
I got the name,
to the Dallas Stars, they got back picks and prospects, but also Jyrki Paka.
That's right.
Not an all-star, but a live body that went into the 6 and played. So you wonder if it's a Tanev trade, the main return that you're hoping to get is either a pick or a prospect.
Totally.
But there might be a warm body coming back to play some minutes.
It'll also help even the money out. It's a win-win for both sides. Let's say, just name a team, Boston. Sure. Let's say Boston's 7th defenseman now becomes a number 8. It's like, well, we're going to put him on waivers. Well, this guy makes $1.5 million. No, we'll take that guy back. He's not a prospect. He's not a great NHLer. He's a fringe guy. It helps the money work a little easier, and we're going to need a guy to eat some minutes. It would be lovely if you knew, or you hoped, or you had an inkling that Oliver Shillington could eat some of those minutes, but they're just not flush with guys that profile as top 4 defensemen at all in the system. There's a lot of guys we've seen rotate through as 5, 6, 7, and I think like that's probably a fair ceiling for a Solovyov and Kuznetsov, but anyone that profiles as a top 4 is not ready.
And it comes back to something else we've talked about. If you have committed to selling, if Tanev's on his way out, then maybe it is, hey, it's Kuznetsov time.
Yeah.
And we are a lot weaker back there, but it's experience for him. And if we happen to lose some games, so be it.
Whoops, we picked 7, not 12.
Which is tough for the guys in that room, but
not
they're
for
making
the
money.
Yeah.
This is the mullet streak is over. What
sad.
now, Pinder?
Maybe it's just getting too shaggy. I got to tighten it up, put some speed lines in there, make it a little more aerodynamic. Again, this is under a Tuca times today, and it does is chia pets throughout the day. It starts rather tight to the ground, and then it just.
I'll just say this: now is not the time to quit.
Okay, not the day before Jasper. No,
this is a small hiccup.
Okay,
right? I think you don't abandon a plan. You don't abandon a project like this after one little speed wobble. You got the Oilers, and then they got how many games before the All-Star break?
I did pack my sweatpants. We're going to be hanging out with Oilers fans. I mean, if there's ever been a time to sport a mullet, do you have any truck nuts? Like, I'm almost there.
Yeah, you know what? To me, this has to be still in place by St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, really?
When you're drinking Guinness and doing what you do on St. Patty's Day, don't you feel like you'd be enjoying it more if you had the mullet? I
will say this. It's been more warmly received than I'd anticipated and less alienating than I thought it was going to be. And, aside from the woman who I choose to raise children with and share a home with and spend the rest of my life with, it's really been trumpeted as a huge success.
Yeah. It somehow
just
fits
that little hiccup.
Yeah. It somehow kind of works.
How does it fit me? It's annoying, Dean. What are you saying?
I don't know what you're saying. We weren't going to talk about Huberdeau, so I guess we'll go here.
We've answered this every single post.
WTF is up with Dubé. Tough year for Dylan. No two ways about it. Went up to the first line 2 games ago because Huberdeau was sick and not really no pulse there. And it's not like I don't feel like he's not trying.
He is trying for sure. Yeah. It's just nothing's clicking.
And that happens. It does. And you guys have both kind of been, this is a guy who looks like he needs a fresh start. You can't qualify him at the money that he's making.
Not at 2.4 next year. And then also you can't even trade him because
I
it's
don't
like
think you can.
No one's got that kind of money for a 12th, 13th forward at this point. And it's kind of like, Well, you've got a lot of kids you want to see. He's failed as a top 9 guy this year. It's maybe just shake hands, thank him for his time, and wish him the best of luck. And I've said it a lot, and we don't know what happened with that investigation. None of the
I don't even like to
released,
go there with that.
But I'm just saying it's just hanging over all these kids' heads, whether they're guilty or not.
He had 18 last year. It was a thing then. It was a thing then. He's already been passed by, and like we've been talking about here, what if they do make some trades and bring in more young guys?
Well, there's no Pelche Coronato right now. Like, where's his ice time if those guys are here?
Yeah.
Like, they're not trading a winger necessarily. They're absolutely going to try to trade a center if they're out of it. But like, what winger is tradable here?
Well, even because you brought it up earlier about Coronato. We're assuming, let's play the assume game. If Pospisil is going to be out a while, whatever that day-to-day, let's call him, not available for the game on Saturday. Coronato's, we're not saying, well, move Dubé up to the second line. No, we've call up Coronato and slide him right into that spot.
Yes.
So,
and that's before Pelche is ready for to be, like, he's still just getting his feet under him after the significant injury. And then next year you're going to have Hanzik, who's eligible to play in the American League, and he's a big body that has some more offensive upside, and you're going to want to see. And hey, look at this Emilio Pettersson that's had a nice year, and look at Adam Klapka, and now Pospisil's healthy again. Like, he's just been passed, and all these guys make less money than him.
I think he'll be able to go somewhere in the off season, because I'm with you. I don't know how you can trade it. It doesn't. You're not going to eat money, even if you do.
No, you can't use a retention slot there.
At $1 million something, it's not going to work. Find a spot in the off season. And this looks, he could be a guy that gets back to that 12, 15 goals, gives you some energy.
I could see him being like a winger version of Andrew Cogliano.
I was just going to say Cogliano.
Like,
I was going to say Cogliano,
yeah. And maybe, I don't know why his name's in my head today, but whether it was a hockey card that my kid got last night or whatever, but like, he could be one of those, like, just penalty kill, fourth line, play at 100 miles an hour. Don't even worry about offense. Just go. Yeah. It's just that they're kicking tires on a lot of intriguing young people here, and he's not that anymore.
And that might be disrespectful to Cogliano. He's quietly carved out a hell of a career.
Yeah, that would be the
first round, right? First round pick, and he's still playing and giving some quality minutes.
And why?
Yeah,
because he's smart and he can skate. Yeah. We know Dubé can skate. Can he turn into that reliable veteran? That's really the challenge he's now been posed with.
Well, while we're on this kind of a trend, Nathan wants to know, what do you guys think about Ruzicka? I think it's been tough watching him play. Got to be some boys in the Wranglers who will outwork him.
He plays the middle. That's kind of helping him a bit.
I think that's a big part of it right now.
You could put Dubé in the middle, but we just talked about him.
Yeah.
It is one of the things I worry about a little bit with Lindholm. If you're going to move him, it's like you got two centers that probably shouldn't be playing center in the NHL. If you don't get a center back in a deal, which with Lindholm, like, maybe you don't. Maybe it's like, hey, we got a first and this young defenseman we love. We got to take this package. Okay, well, Dubé, you're going to play the middle for a bit. Rosie, by default, you're a center. Like, unless you want to see Benny Dimes or Clark Bishop up here.
Yeah, it's the bigger question. It's what is he? There was a small stretch where Darryl had him elevated in the lineup and he was scoring goals and getting points. And he wondered, is he going to is this maybe a chance for him to break through if he's playing with higher skilled guys?
Lindholm when they took Huberdeau away from Lindholm, and it was like, this looks kind of neat. But that's also been Ruzicka's entire career. There's always flashes of wow, and then there's long stretches of where is he?
And it's hard because by this point in your career, you are what you are. And
he's not.
I think we're past the point of being he's not going to be a power forward, but it's also, there's just not enough jam there.
Correct. Yeah. He's not Nick Bugstad, right? He's not 6'6", 230, win a draw, run into people. Not that Nick is super physical, but like, he's big, but it doesn't seem to be a part of his game. He may as well be 5'11".
Yeah. Jeremy, say you are the Flames GM. Who would you trade? Answer from each of you, please. Keep punching, boys. Who would you trade?
Well, there's the 3 UFAs. So, like, are you trading all 3, or do you like to get that Hannafin extension done?
Do I get to do I get to break into Conroy's office and check his emails and see what what offers are on the table.
That is the
'Cause-
part that you can't do. Which is going to make it harder. And you also don't get to know what the number is that gets the Hannafin deal done.
Well,
So,
and if you want to do it in this order,
yeah.
trade Tanev,
Yep.
trade Lindholm,
Mhm.
trade Tanev, re-sign Hannafin if the offers aren't worth it.
Yeah. I'm with you. I love what Chris Tanev is as a player. He's 34. Like we've seen much younger defensemen evaporate.
And he's given you
the way he plays
great
is
time
with such great disregard for the human cavity that carries him around. Like it's wild what he puts his body through. I think it's been an incredible free agent signing. I was skeptical of it at the time. That's one of the better free agent signings in the last decade for the Calgary Flames. He's been an incredibly hardworking, leadership, like important player for this club, but it's someone else's bet to make, not yours. It's not the right life cycle of this club to be re-upping a 34-year-old defenseman for his 35-year-old season.
Even though they're not deep in the American Hockey League level, the strength of the organizationally is not on the blue line.
No.
I mean, if there's no trade offer, then you're going to hang on to him. But I have to believe there'd be something. We talked about it before. Somebody had made the comparables. You saw Ben Sherratt go for a first. You saw it was David Savard. He went for a first. I'm taking a first. I'm taking a second. But if you can't get that, then you know what? Let's keep playing. And if you're happy here, you want to do a 1-year deal potentially going into next year, let's talk about it. But
if you knew Shillington was a likely candidate next year, those two played so well together. I just worry about like what you said. Like, could you get him back on a 1 year? It's like things have to crater a bit for him to not get more than 1 year on the market. But to your point, if the offers aren't there, that's kind of an indication of interest around the league. So I'd say there's a very small likelihood of the situation we just laid out, but it's not impossible. It's a non-zero chance.
And I put Lindholm at the top just because I have a hard time believing there's not a trade to be made there that makes sense for the Flames.
I have Tanev at the top because I think it's the same, but I also just feel like the ticking time bomb thing.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm thinking in terms of what's the best package, what's going to be the most exciting.
Yeah,
I've been saying about Tanev, do it now, do it.
Yeah,
do it
now. Before he
now.
breaks something. Let's go.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any chance Lindholm is staying. I don't even know what the appetite there would be for him or the team. I don't think they're at odds, but I just don't know. It feels like there's a natural course playing itself out here.
Yeah.
And he's a centerman who is a very good player who put up great numbers with star players, makes star players better. There's just too much there for a cup-bound team. And we saw Colorado and Boston play each other tonight, and it was a dandy. There's got to be a deal that somebody would have. I don't know if it's a bidding war or what it is, but there's got to be one of these teams out there that looks and says, this is a centerman who's not usually available.
Yeah.
At this time of year.
I think you should get a haul for him. I think you do well with Tanev, given the profile of guys out at the deadline. Like Matthias Ekholm wasn't the biggest, sexiest name, but how crucial was that ad last year?
Fitting a need, right?
Yeah. And being really good in your own zone is something that is a large need for a lot of contenders. I look at Toronto tonight and it's like, Jesus, they'd love a Chris Tanev there. Fuck.
I said it either today or whatever. Just watching Zadorov, it should have been a Leaf. He's kind of what they need.
Well, and I'm trying to remember who said it, but you know what? I had heard that it was Zadorov and Tanev to Toronto for a very, very significant package, but it was the eating the money on those both those deals is what Toronto needed. And so Craig turned down what was a very, very, by this person in the NHL's view, an attractive package because, and I get it, you'd only have 2 retention slots left. And so, okay, if I have to eat on Lindholm, now I'm full. And it's like,
what if someone gives me 9 first-rounders for Jacob Markstrom?
And it's like, they need me to retain salary. I can't do it. And so, and I don't think that's the wrong move. I do think as you get closer to the deadline, if he's healthy, Tanev's a very attractive player.
Yeah, I do too.
You're not married to him. It's just for 3 months. Play your ass off.
That's right.
Hopefully 3 months.
Interesting. Brad Treliving. Hi, Brad. Pinder, who's on your pond hockey team? Are you a good GM?
Well, what's interesting is I talked to James Neal. He's available, so that's the good thing. And Troy Brower's. I'm kidding, Brad. Totally kidding. Oh, only the other side can joke. Okay, comments on YouTube. Kevin Rooney is not available. That's a problem.
There we go. There we go. Well, that's going to do it. The 4-game winning streak is over. Vladar, impressive in net despite allowing 4 and taking the loss. Martin Pospisil injured. We are betting that it'll be a Matthew Coronato recall and into the lineup against the Oilers on the weekend. So not ideal, but it's what happens. We felt it was going to be an injury. It is. Now is a chance for Coronato to come in and add some pop. Whether it's, I mean, man, if you want to score in the power play, if you want to help that power play out, that'd be good too. But it could be a real opportunity here for this guy. And I did look, you had said he was doing, I just got his numbers here. In the American Hockey League this season, he has played 27 games. He has 12 goals and 29 points.
Better than a point per game in the A. That's it for a first-year pro, and that's important context. First year's been playing against professionals. That's really impressive stuff.
Yeah. So he'll be shuffling down the hallway, quite likely.
The Coronato coronation?
Well, he's already played.
Damn it.
But if it, I mean, wasn't on the second line. Who did he play with? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, we're gonna have to workshop this.
He scored though. I mean, it was a beautiful shot. Guy can shoot it. Yeah, it was
right under the bar.
Yeah,
right shot.
Yeah.
The left half wall. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it. Support the sponsors. Subscribe and like. Some people still they have no idea what's Afterburner. If people don't know, let them know. Yeah, we're here every night after every Flame game, doing this little thing, little post game, taking your questions, talking about Pinder's mullet and whatnot. So, have a great rest of your night. We'll talk to you from Jasper. Are we doing this joint post game thing Saturday?
God, I hope not. Although I did tell the weekend Afterburners that they can go to a music festival or something. They're free.
Great.
Wow.
The only thing I really want to do more
is hang out with Oiler honks.
Is hang out after a Flames win or a Flames loss to the Oilers. Gosh. Anyway, that'll do it. Support the sponsors. Appreciate you, everybody. Good night, buddies.
Yep.